All right. So now they want me to come tell y'all. I already gave y'all. I told y'all about HUD and housing and the different housing authorities participating in organized crime, but I did not and have not told y'all yet in detail what exactly each housing authority did and how they participated in organized crime. So we're getting ready to go through and explain in detail. I think I already told y'all about Lumberton housing, but we're getting ready to go through in detail and dissect each housing authority and explain what each housing authority did to participate in organized crime. All right, and today they put on my spirit to start with Chatham County Housing Authority. All right, the executive director over there is Norris Lee Stanton. There was a light-skinned lady, I don't think I caught her name. A light-skinned lady that wore glasses. She looked like she was I don't know, a little slow, but she was the one doing the taking the applications. Now, it's not a very big office. It's in a very rural space. And at this time, like, they had the HCV intake specialist, or the person that does the HCV. I don't know if they quit or got fired, but they were short staffed. But regardless of them being short staffed, I've worked in the office before. It don't take long to get paperwork to do and do your job. Once you get the paperwork, put the stuff together, if that's what you're doing, if you're working. Okay, but there was a very significant delay in the processing of my application to begin with. Like, once I sent in my documents, 2-3 months had passed by. I hadn't heard nothing back. And so I sent emails. They barely responded to my emails. They did not return phone calls. So I already knew that it was some bullshit going on based off, how they was acting to begin with. All right. So then, during the processing of my application, I sent them information, and then they requested more information, the same information, like at the intake where they did like the briefing. And I thought it was strange, but they asked me for a copy of my light bill, which they didn't need a copy of my light bill. So they were abusing their power and asking for things that they didn't need. Okay, they were looking for a reason to discriminate and retaliate because I think I had submitted some complaints, but I recorded the conversation that me and Norris Lee Stanton had while I was there, because I wanted to speak to him, because I wanted to know, why did y'all need my light bill? And so when I talked to him, although they had it on the paper saying that I needed to bring it for them to process my application, when I talked to him, he was like that they didn't need it if you had income or something like that. But I've applied to hundreds, well, not hundreds, but 25, 30 different housing authorities, and I know you don't have to have your light bill. All right, this was them whoever they was working for, whoever had bribed them, had them paid them to try to get information about my light bill, because I told y'all that Duke, the light bill, it had got to like $3,000 by the time I left. And I told y'all I didn't get a screenshot of it, but I had went in there one day and looked at the light bill. It was $74. And then the next day, it jumped from $74 to like $230. So Duke is tampering with people's light bills that live out there in Zebulon, North Carolina. I know they tamper with mine. And I know that they had my light bill inflated. I know it wasn't that much. It wasn't $200, $300 every month. It was only about $100 every month, but they would add the stuff to it. But y'all can, if y'all get tap into their system, y'all can go in there and see in their computers where they go in there and they jack people light bills up. And so that was a part of organized crime too, Duke jacking my light bill up, because I won't paying it. and you know, because I couldn't afford it, and so I was just getting extensions. At this time, I wasn't getting Wake County wasn't helping a whole lot with light bills. And then they wanted me to pay like $500, $600, $700 before they could pay any of it, and I just never did. But then that's when God made a way for me to leave there and leave that high ass light bill with them, because He knew what they was getting ready to try to do. They was getting ready to say, because it happened as soon as I left. They was asking for the whole $3,000 for the light bill, or they was gonna cut my lights out. But I was gone, so I was like, fuck y'all and this light bill, because I don't owe y'all that much money. And I seen with my own two eyes, although I didn't take a screenshot of it, when it jumped from $74 to $200 and some dollars. But because it did do that, y'all can get in their systems and go in their computer systems and see where the actual reading was, and then right before the bill came out, they would go in there and jack it up. Okay, so that y'all can trace back. There's a digital footprint for that. Okay, they want me to let y'all know that about Duke light bills. Is it Duke Energy? I don't know, just Duke light bills. I don't know if it's Duke Energy or just Duke, but Duke light bills that service Zebulon, North Carolina. Just get into their systems, get into my system, because when I first moved there, my light bill wasn't about $100, $150. You know what I'm saying? That was cool. But gradually over time, you know, after they got in touch with the people organizing crime and they got bribed and stuff, they would go in the system and jack my light bill up. Zoe, stop screaming. And jack my light bill up, okay, to where I couldn't afford it. And then the Wake County DSS, they won't helping people like that. All right. And so I just let it pile up, and like, fuck it. I can't afford this bill. I know my light bill is not no $300 every month. I've lived in the projects before, you know, multiple times. I ain't, even when I lived outside of the projects, my light bill won't no $300 fucking dollars. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't use lights during the day. I use the sun during the day. We open the windows and stuff during the day. I barely use lights. You feel me? So I knew my light bill won't supposed to be that high. And based off the fact that we won't using no more lights than we was when we first got there, I don't keep lights on at night. So, you know, I know for a fact, because I seen it with my own eyes, and because I seen it with my eyes, y'all can go in their systems and see where they're going in and jacking up people's light bills. All right, that's one thing. But with Chatham County Housing, they asked for my light bill. Then when I was in their office with him, he was like that they didn't need it. And so I'm like, well, why did y'all put it on this paper? This was organized crime. And so he was like, well, since we got it, we'll go ahead and keep it. And I recorded the whole conversation. So I was just talking to him about the process, about why it took so long to process my application and things of that nature. Like, it literally took like 3 months to process my application. And then, like with HUD, I've never had to pay for a background check with HUD. But what they did was they made it seem like I had the lady in there. It was a white lady. I can't remember her name. But I got the receipts and stuff somewhere from where I paid for the background check. And y'all can pull the cameras for Chatham County Housing Authority. And they also had, it was a girl that followed me to the Chatham County courthouse, and I believe that she was there sending a message or letting them know, like after I paid for the background check, which came back clear, you know what I'm saying, because I ain't got no background like that. It came back all the way clear. They were able to print off another copy of that and give it to the person who paid them, because they were looking into like my records. But y'all dumb, because like when you get a background check, it's gonna pull everything from every county, from every place like that you got on there. It's not gonna be, oh, this county, this county, this county. But they made me and nobody else, because the girl that followed me there, she didn't pay for a background check. But they made me pay for a background check, and they was like, well, we need you to pay for a background check before we can process your application. But everybody else had done left. They didn't make nobody else pay for no background check. So they made me spend money that I didn't have to spend. They made me provide information that they didn't need to need for me to provide. They purposely delayed the processing of my application, and then once they got everything that they needed, they delayed it even more. And then in there, he made a discriminatory comment because he was like, if you can't pay this, pay your light bill, because in their area, you know, Duke serviced their area. And this was why I end up not moving with Chatham County Housing, is because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get those lights switched over and turned over. And then this was when God was trying to tell me, all right, yeah, it's time to move, but now you need to find out where I want you to move to. He wanted me to come back to Lumberton, North Carolina, which I did not want to do, but he made me. So, when we was in there and I got it on record, he was like, he making it seem like he had a choice as to if he was going to issue me a voucher or not. So they discriminated against me. All right. And they retaliated because I had done put in some complaints. They participated in organized crime. And then he was like, if I give you this voucher, how you gonna keep up with your bills? How you gonna pay? And I'm looking at him like, nigga, that ain't none of your business. Your job, and what I'm saying to myself is, your job is to just issue me the voucher. I give you the information that I'm supposed to give you. You're not supposed to be in here judging me because I got a high-ass light bill that you know for a fact has been jacked up because you working with the people with the organized crime. But Norris Lee standing over there, very horrible customer service, very horrible executive director. The white lady, I don't remember her name, but she was the one that told me I had to pay for the background check. Then they had a fat girl with her. She had like one child. Y'all see her on the camera if y'all pull the Chatham County Housing Authority, the Chatham County Courthouse. The day that I did that we did, and I got the documents somewhere, but the day that we had like the orientation for the Section 8 voucher. And most orientations, every other orientation that I've been to with Section 8, after the orientation is when you get the voucher. Like either that day or shortly after. Okay. But this particular one, like, they just delayed the processing even longer. But they waited till everybody left out except for me and like that one other lady. And then they was like, well, you got to pay for a background check, okay? Because I stayed after everybody and I was, asking questions. But I know that the fat lady that followed me to the courthouse, she was a gang stalker. And she was helping them with the organized crime. She was the eyes to see, all right, yes, she went to go get it. Now we can get a copy of it. Bitch, there ain't nothing on my background. Like, there's nothing outrageous on my background. Like, nigga. And anything that's motherfucking on there is from years ago, bitch. Like, it's from years ago when I was stealing in the stores. I got 2 larceny charges. One of them was one that was supposed to be expunged. That it got expunged, but then it magically appeared back on there. Okay, and I got the expungement through legal aid. So there's some records of it in their systems, backed up in their systems, because I believe that I had, this was before I woke up, I deleted the emails from where the dude was sending me the paperwork and stuff. But this was like 2018 when I got that particular one expunged. And then I think legal aid, they misguided me too with the expungement, because I have since later found out that I can have my whole record like expunged. Especially the fact that I ain't been in no trouble and done nothing in like 9 years. Okay, so injury to personal property, that was when I keyed this bitch car. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem being accountable for what I've done, because if I did something, I'm gonna tell you I did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and do what I got to do as a result of, consequences for my actions. I'm prepared for that. If I decide to do something, I know, okay, I'm either going to get locked up, I'm either going to get a charge. Like, I've already prepared myself for that in my mind. This is, who I used to be. If I'm going to go do some dumb shit, all right, I might get locked up. I'm going to need some bond money, some shit like that. I'll be prepared. So, that's all I got. A simple assault. That was from like 2010, and I got like 2 larceny charges. That's from stealing out of the stores. One is in Cabarrus County, one is in Cumberland County. And then the injury to personal property when I keyed that girl car when Emmanuel Robertson, he was cheating on me with the girl. And I used to, be trying to fight bitches and shit all the time. But I don't do that shit no more, like, because I done grown up. Like, I've learned, like, if nigga going out here and fucking with a bitch, he ain't doing it. It ain't just the bitch that he doing it with. He has to, he has to participate, okay? So now it's like, I ain't getting ready to be with nobody who is cheating on me and who out here trying to be secretive. If I ain't the only one, nigga, I won't be no one, okay? So, but yeah, I don't have a problem being accountable for the things that I have done. And if I did something, I'm gonna tell you I did it. I ain't running away from, nothing that I've done in my life. And those are the only charges that I have. And like I said, the last one was 2016 when I keyed the girl car. And then I had to get on probation or something for that. And then I had to pay some money or some shit. But after that, I ain't never keyed nobody else's car no more. Okay? Because she wouldn't fight me. So I was mad and I keyed the bitch car. But yeah, she was scared just like everybody else. Just like all these motherfuckers participating in this organized crime. Just like all these motherfuckers throwing rocks and hiding their hands. They scared. But I don't fight no more. I use I let my ancestors and God take care of people now. I had to learn that the hard way. Okay, I had to learn to calm down the hard way, to not react out of emotion the hard way. It's taken me years to calm down. Okay, I used to be a crash out. I ain't no crash out no more. I used to blow the fuck up. I used to, it's up and it's goddamn stuck. Like, I remember one time I was trying to fight a bitch for like a year. And every time I pulled up on her, she'd run. I think I told y'all about that. But, yeah, so they purposely delayed the processing of my application multiple times. He made discriminatory comments about him issuing me a voucher, and my light bill was high, and he was acting like he was concerned about how I was going to pay some bills, but that wasn't his concern to be concerned about. He was just supposed to issue me the voucher, which they never did. So about 2-3 months after I turned in all my information, I was just cancel the processing of my application, because I know that y'all purposely delaying it, and this was just God allowing me to get evidence of the organized crime that y'all participating in. So we got the evidence, so I was just like, cancel the processing because I don't want the voucher or whatever. All right. And they made me go pay for a background check, although that is not a requirement of HUD. And I was the only one that they made go pay for a background check. And I know that after I paid for the background check, the Chatham County courthouse, the girl that they had gang stalking me, I know what she looked like. And y'all see her on the camera if y'all pull the footage from that day. The day that I went, that they scheduled for the, and I don't have the paperwork in front of me right now, but I got it somewhere in my email, and I got it somewhere in my stack of evidence that I got. Where I had to physically be there for the orientation. I left as soon as I left that day, I went to the courthouse. So, and I think I still have that receipt from where I paid for that background check, at the courthouse. And I like to get copies of everything. So I'm pretty sure that I got all the documents for Chatham County Housing in a little bundle. Okay. Just like all the other ones. So yeah, they participated in organized crime, all the staff there. The Chatham County courthouse, that's the Chatham County Housing Authority, how they participated. And then the Chatham County Courthouse participated as well. And then there was a lady, she was a black girl. She looked like she was mixed black and Indian because her hair was straight. But she was a fat girl. She was fat. She looked kind of like Crystal Ann Brown. She looked kind of like her. And then she had a son, I believe. She had a child with her. It was one child, I believe. But she followed me to the courthouse. After I paid for mine, she went up there and acted like she was getting one too, but she didn't exchange no money or nothing. There was no exchange of money. So I know that she was the signal, for the stuff. And I believe that they gave her a copy of what came back on mine. But y'all can check into all of this because there is digital footprints of everything. I have emails. I recorded the conversation of me and Mr. Lee Stanton. So I got him on tape saying that they don't need the light bill. But they sent me a form saying that I needed to bring the light bill. So I got them on tape and I got all the emails. Like, I'm very intelligent, very analytical, and I observe very well. That it will look like I'm not paying attention to nothing, but I'm paying attention to everything. I keep telling y'all that I'm not dumb. I never been dumb. I always been book smart. Always been street smart. Okay, I have common sense. Okay, I have sense on all levels, like on an expanded level or a higher level than the average human. I'm not average. I don't even think I'm fucking human for real. Because of the shit that I can do, the shit that I can see, the shit that I hear, the shit that I feel. I am not motherfucking human, baby. I'm from somewhere else. I'm from a galaxy from somewhere. Okay? But anyway, a different galaxy where people, have power and, they're very powerful. I am very respected in the spiritual realm. I respect the spiritual realm. Okay, me and the spiritual realm, we like this. Just like me and God, we like this. Me and the spirits is like this. On the light side, I fuck with the light, not the dark. Okay, I do light work. That means I bring truth. I lift the veil. I remove people mask. Okay, I bring justice. People's karma gets set into action when they come fucking with me. Okay, and that's just how it is. But they wanted me to get on here and tell y'all about Chatham County Housing Authority. And another thing is hitting my spirit too about somewhere where I used to work, and it was a preacher in the daycare at Solid Start Child Care. Linda Yao, she participated in organized crime too. But I'm not going to go into detail about that. I'll do that on a separate one. I'm going to just make a note of that. Let me write it down somewhere. So after I finish with, I'm going to tell y'all what she did at Solid Start Child Care. Because I worked there. That was my last job before I went entrepreneur for 3 years, 4 years, something like that. And then I didn't get another job until Amazon. And then at the Amazon, when I got back to North Carolina, I went to API. And then Advanced Platform Incorporated. And then at the Advanced Platform, I went to Wolfspeed. And then at the Wolfspeed, I went to Trans Carolina Permits, which I was only there for like a month. Wolfspeed, I was there about a month physically, but then I drew my short-term disability because they had me in a very hostile environment. I told y'all about that. Go check out Dasharay Williams reviews. Dasharay is Dasharai Williams reviews on YouTube. Y'all see the story about Wolfspeed over there and some other people over there. I still got some other videos and stuff that I got to do, but I'm just getting through them as I get through them. So Chatham County Housing Authority, we got them checked off the list. I don't know which housing authority we're gonna do next, but we got Benson, we got Western Piedmont. What's the other ones? We got one that's like out there in the cut somewhere, like Moore County Housing or something like that. We got Fayetteville Housing Authority because I didn't submit something and didn't nobody tell me that I didn't submit it, and they just removed me from the application instead of telling me, hey, we need this. Still, after I submitted everything else, it's a couple of housing authorities that I got to come on here and give y'all details about how they participated in organized crime. Because like I said, I know y'all like, well, she told us that they participated in organized crime, but what did they do? And this is what I'm hearing the investigators and the detectives asking. Okay, so I'm telling y'all what they did now, and we're going to go through, and everybody that I have told y'all that has participated in organized crime against me, I'm going to go through and tell y'all exactly what they did. So that's where we are now. But Chatham County Housing Authority, eyes, ears on them. tap into their systems, get copies of everything that I did with them. You know, get into their systems. I don't know how y'all do y'all investigations, how y'all tap in or hack in or whatever, but get into them. And also I had requested to speak with the board, and Lee Stanton refused to give me the information of when they were going to be having the meeting, which they're supposed to provide that to you when you ask for it. But he know that he had did something wrong, so he didn't want me speaking to the board. And then too, he had already heard about me at Wake County Housing, because that board over there know me very well. I pop in those meetings real quick. Wake County Housing participated in organized crime too. I don't think I've told y'all verbatim, went through the list what they have done, but there's a couple housing authorities. I got to go through my email, make a list of all the different ones that did participate, and I'm going to tell y'all how they participated so that y'all can get a visual of it, and so that y'all can go ahead and start, you know, adding them to the case if y'all haven't already, which I'm pretty sure y'all have already put them on the list. But I know that y'all need details on how they participated, because y'all have not directly spoken with me, but I know that y'all are listening. I know that y'all are watching, because God told me that y'all is, and God don't lie to me. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we round up every single person that's involved in this organized crime. Okay, every single person. There is nobody going left untouched. Everybody is going to reap what they have sown. Everybody is going to get prison time for everything that they did, and the maximum sentence will be imposed. But Chatham County Housing Authority, that's what they did, and I'll come back with some more on the other housing authorities later.